Begin transmission.
You are listening to Corellian Run Radio, your route through hyperspace to the latest news on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Hi, and welcome to Corellian Run Radio. This is episode 144, and we're recording Sunday, May the 10th, 2015. That's right, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my co-host, Heather. Howdy, Heather.
Hey, Jason.
So, how are you doing, Heather?
Oh, good. Really busy. This is my first show that we're recording in my new house. So
Ooh, yeah, that's right. How did the
Yeah.
move and everything go?
It's still a work in progress. I still have a lot of things to do. But I've been trying to play the game still as much as I can. I've missed a few raid nights because I'm moving and all kinds of stuff. But now it should be back to normal. I did do what did I do this week? Oh, I finished Zyos finally. I hadn't done it in the
Awesome.
PTS. Yeah, I hadn't done it in the PTS, so I never saw the whole thing, or the beginning at least. So I finished that, and I did EC Nightmare with 4 players.
Or not nice.
Yeah.
My nephew was doing that. They were doing a run and isn't that, I mean, yeah, you don't get any real loot or anything from it, but isn't it kind of cool to go back to
It's
some
still
of that?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we started it in a 16-man mode, Nightmare, and we did the first boss in 16-man Nightmare, but then we got to the tanks, and it was like, this is kind of hard, so
Yeah.
so we just dropped it to 8-man Nightmare for
Isn't
that.
it, when you go back to like explosive content, isn't that kind of crazy that was 50 and that was pretty dang difficult?
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, this should be easy. I mean, it was pretty easy since we were 4-manning it, but still, like... So I did that, and I did a few flashpoints. I did Blood Hunt with my guildies. I showed one of my guildies that hadn't done it yet through, and we one-shot everything. I was like, dang it.
Hard mode
that was
or-
that. Hard mode, yeah, that took me such a long time the first time I did it, and then here
Wow.
he is
Their
just...
first time through Bud Hunt, they go, well, let's go hard mode. Nice job. I have not actually hard mode Rishi and Blood Hunt. I haven't tackled those yet. I know I'm geared enough. I hit the hard modes and I've never had one pop. So
I haven't done the bonus boss in Battle of Rishi yet. I think he's like a chemical engineer, and there's all kinds of weird cleansing and dots and whatever. So
Yeah,
I haven't done that one yet.
I watched Volk's walkthrough on that one, and I was like, what? There's a lot of stuff going on in that fight. So no, this past week I finished Zyos, of course, after the May 4th kind of deadline or update they gave us. So I did that, and I've been, of course, with the new Epic XP, I've been starting to level up. I've started a new counselor. I haven't never finished the counselor story yet, so usually we'd create a character, get so far, and like, oh, I want to create another one on the Empire side. Well, that counselor gets died. So I decided, okay, character slot, let's open up, and I got another one, so I'm starting it now. So. But I'm going dark side with her. I just thought that would be kind of cool, see what the dark side counselor would be like. So. And let's see, I'm leveling up my other sniper almost to 60. Of doing other stuff on Zyos and different things like that. I haven't quite finished him. I'm on Rishi now with that sniper. So
Wow. I haven't even done anything for 12 times XP. I guess the first time we had 12 times XP, I didn't really bother with it either, just because I just play the one character.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if you only got... Well, see, now what you ought to do is level up another one, so then when you run through guild things, you're just bam, bam. You're never on the lockout.
Yeah, I thought about that, but then I was just like, I don't know. I don't want to look at this. I don't want to do this story again. Even because I have a sorcerer and I have an assassin, and I kind of know the story, so I don't want to do that particular story again, even though it's 12 times XP.
Well, now, did you get your Juggernaut?
I have a Juggernaut.
Because I knew you were running it through Vengeful spec, weren't you?
Yeah, I have a max level Juggernaut. The only class stories I need to do still are the Jedi Knight ones. And let's see. I did the trooper, I did the consular, and I never finished the scoundrel one.
Did you do agent, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, I did the Imperial Agent
Okay.
ones. I've done all the Imperial ones.
You
So
didn't say that one. I was like, what? You haven't done that one, so.
no, of course I would. I've done all the Empire stories.
Yeah, I've got to finish up the counselor, and I need to finish up the smuggler, so I'm pretty close on those.
Yeah, so I should really do that. I guess the Jedi Knight is the most important story in the game or something. It's like KOTOR 3.
I got that. That was
Apparently.
my first character, and I was like, I got to a point, and it was like, oh, I want to go Empire, and then I just never looked back. But now, speaking of stories and going on, we have somebody with us today who has a story of his own to tell. We're going to get into that. A streamer from the SWTOR community, Sakari. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, guys. Happy Mother's Day.
Yay!
Happy Mother's Day indeed. Boy, I was talking to you earlier. It's like, oh yeah, when I scheduled this, I had no idea. Totally blanked out on be Mother's Day. It's like, whoops. So thank you for coming to the show, even though it's happens to be Mother's Day.
Well, absolutely. I feel very profoundly honored to be on your show, so thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh. Well, so we're going to get into a little news, and then we're going to talk more with Sakari all through that. He's gonna give his little opinions on some different things that we got going on in the news. So how about we just jump right into the news, Heather? What do you say?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
From the Newsnet and beyond.
Well, so this past week, of course, we had the whole deal with the Zyos finally completely opening up. So that was kind of cool. But then we had some other things going on. Of course, they're continually working on balancing different classes. And John, I can never pronounce his last name, so we're just going with John, who's a system designer on the combat team. And he was posting some things about the changes coming in update 3.2.1 for the Sith Marauder and the Jedi Sentinel. And he was asking for some help from the community on the forums and also those playing on the PTS. And some people decided to take that way over the edge. Nobody's going to agree with everything all the time, but I guess there was some stuff where they went down and tracked his actual personal accounts and even accounts of his family and went about that route and actually harassing him. So we decided that we're not going to avoid this topic. We're going to talk about it, but we're also going to figure out a way, probably a better way of handling it, I guess. You saw about this, Heather, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it. I just think you can't do that. You can't harass video game developers. You can't go after their family and look up things about them, no matter what they've done. It's just a video game. So I'm really disappointed in some members of the community.
Yeah. And actually, Sakari, I know me and you got to talk a little bit yesterday. We were doing a little mic check test, and we got to talking about it. And a lot of people feel that their voice doesn't get heard nowadays. But actually, you brought up a game that me and you both were playing, in which it wasn't until a few years later that they acknowledged it.
Yes, absolutely. Star Wars Galaxies. May she rest in peace. The thought occurred to me that with Star Wars Galaxies, one of the things that SOE did at the time was not really listen to the players and get our feedback for all of the different changes that they were going to make. And everybody, I bring this up, and whenever I do, I'm sure that people will have memories of that game. And over time, it really just fizzled the game out. It just destroyed the whole thing, brought the whole community down. And it occurred to me that these game companies that design all these games are businesses, and they have the pressures on them that most businesses have. They've got to make sure that they are putting their resources where they need them to be, making sure that everything is good. That way, they've got shareholders that, or whoever they report to that they have to do a good job for. So I think using the Star Wars Galaxies model and what happened there, people are trying to avoid that. I know there's a lot of game companies these days that are doing the very best that they can to pay attention to their communities, their player communities. And I think this was a great step on BioWare's behalf, doing that, and trying to listen to what it was that we had to say and getting our input and our feedback. And I thought it was awesome. In fact, I got on that when they had first said that. I didn't have much to share in the Marauder Sentinel feed. Because it's not really a class that I play right now, but I was very impressed with it. I thought it was very cool, and obviously as a business they want to stay in business, one, so that means that they want to do a good job with the game, make sure that where they put their resources they are doing the best that they can for the most amount of players. And so, they really actually do need, want to and need to listen to us. And I think that the player base needs to reciprocate with that. We need to do the best that we can to give them good, honest, helpful feedback that helps them to make it a great game.
Right.
So that was essentially the...
Go ahead.
Well, now since this happened, it makes me feel like BioWare doesn't want to talk to us anymore. Like, why would they try and share anything when people are going to get personal backlash about it? I mean, I guess you could say, well, that's their jobs. Well, no, I don't think it's their job to to have to worry about people tracking down their families and themselves.
Yeah, I mean, in the words of my nephews, it's a game. So, and I know that we get invested in the game, and if you're a subscriber, you're able to post on the forums, and so you're putting in your money into it. And so you feel vested in that. Well, it is a game, and you're vested and you're passionate. It's how do we take that passion and stuff like that and put it into constructive uses. And, I came up with kind of we were talking about, I came up with, it may be a little corny, kind of the 3 C's that I wanted, collaboration through constructive cooperation. And basically BioWare was asking for the collaboration in these posts. They were asking for players' input, and for the most part, there was some people that, of course, nobody's going to ever agree on everything, and they were giving their constructive, things. And by giving those constructive posts, they're able to work together with the developers. I mean, developers don't want people to be unhappy. Obviously, like Sakari said, it's a business, and if people are unhappy, guess what? They're going to move on to another game. So, I don't know. I kind of think that, take everything with a grain of salt, and I mean that more on probably the player side, but I kind of think that maybe we should kind of ease up a little bit on the developers. I think we get so involved in things that we kind of forget that it is a game. I mean, it is their job, but nobody needs a personal attack like that, especially their family.
Sure. To me, one of the things about MMOs as a genre, and it's probably like this in all games, there's an awful lot of trolls out there. And this is terrible, I understand, but really it's just a really good example of trolling. To me, I think one of the mistakes that BioWare made in doing this was that they used the first and last name of the developer. I would have definitely given them a handle, and pick one, something, and then you communicate under that handle, so at least they're not finding you on social media, for one. I mean, that was one thing that, and what I would say is, guys, BioWare, if you are listening to this, absolutely try that again. That was a great move. Just maybe make some changes so that people can track things down.
Yeah, I agree.
I would be very glad to see that happen again and for it to move forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think that some of the changes, and I'll put a link in that. I don't think we'll go through all the changes they suggested, but a lot of the changes look like they'll be really good. And I think that all the classes, and anytime you're in a game like Sakari was talking about, there's going to be some changes. So I think that maybe we can BioWare definitely want to hope they keep moving forward with stuff like that. And so if we reciprocate that of being willing to
I still think BioWare they could they could stand to listen to the players, especially the ones that play the class, just to hear exactly what they're saying, because I think there were some things that were wrong or bad about the Marauder changes, that I read or that I looked up about, but it's not an excuse to go crazy on a combat developer.
Well, and maybe
Calm down.
maybe that's where they need to go back when they originally had it. I don't know if both of you guys remember when they had class representatives. Maybe they need to go back to that system.
The only problem with that is, how do you choose who the class rep is?
That's true.
Not all the players are in the forums. And that's primarily how they do it. And yeah, I really don't know how they can fix the class rep system, but
Yeah, you'd think in this day and age with technology, there would be a way that they could, bring the people that are in the forums and bring the people that are in other social media aspects and kind of get together. Maybe a Twitch summit or something like that.
Yeah.
Where everybody can join together or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box a little bit.
They could always do like focus groups or something, just like have people apply. If you want to be on the Marauder Sentinel focus group thing, here's an application, here's the criteria we want you to meet, and have people apply, and then build focus groups. And then whenever you want to make changes to that class, then run it by them. Say, okay, here's what we're looking at. What do you guys think? And get community feedback that way. And that way, they've screened it down to where the people that are going to be in that group are actually serious about what they're trying to do.
I actually like that. It's not one person, and it's not just a bunch of people in the forums voting on it. It's you doing an application to BioWare, and then they pick maybe like 4 people that play the Marauder, 4 people that play each class, and so on. And I think that could work, because it's a different people, and it's not just one person.
Well, and get by more people by having 3 or 4 people for that class. It also is probably going to cover PvE and PvP.
Exactly. If you could get some high-end raiders in there and some high-end PvPers in there, and it's a big mix of things. That way, if you're thinking about making a change because of something in PvP, your PvEers can say, hey, well, here's how that's going to affect us in the PvE world.
Exactly. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and I think BioWare would be able to screen it if they look through the applications and they see, okay, well, who plays a lot? What do they do in game? And they could look up all the stats on that, because they have the resources. I don't know if they have the people to to do all this work in screening people for us, but we'll see. But I think it's a good idea too.
Yeah. Well, and like we said, we didn't want to dwell on this topic and be completely negative, but we did want to address it and kind of give our thoughts on possibly how everybody can kind of move forward from this and try to make the best of it. So moving on to other news in the game, we had, of course, the Epic XP and a costume designer and everything that came along with 3.2. So what do y'all guys think of that? Let's drop in with the Epic XP. I don't know, Sakari, did you get to mess with that any at all?
I've played with it some, but not actually as much as I would like to. As a streamer, I find that planning content, I am a lot more restricted than I would usually have been just being a gamer. So I have been able to mess with it a little bit on a night here and there, but I really want to start turning up the heat on that, actually take advantage of it while it's around, Yeah.
How about you, Heather? I know you said you probably did not too much. Any plans to probably get in that?
Yeah, I'm trying to get every single advanced class, and so there's just a couple that I don't have on. Well, I guess I'm only considering Empire here, but I don't have. Well, okay, I've played every single advanced class if you consider their mirrors on either side. So I've played every single advanced class except the Marauder and Sentinel. So sorry, Marauder and Sentinel players. That's the one class I have never played either faction. So maybe I should do that in 12 times XP, but apparently not, because people are freaking out about.
Well, the nice thing about the 12 time XP, you're gonna be so over leveled. Just if you use story quests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
power through it.
So I could do that, but my goal is still to do every single, to have 16 advanced classes. So on M side, I still need to do a power tech and an operative, which those are the two that I've gone through on the pub side. I have a trooper and I have a vanguard and I have a scoundrel.
So did you go healing with your scoundrel?
Yeah, I was actually healing.
Because see, everybody tells me, my nephew tells me he really likes doing the operative healing. He says it's really fun. So I'm actually going to contemplate doing that myself. And actually do the scoundrel. Yeah, like I said, it's nice. The only thing is, I didn't think about it. I mean, it said it everywhere. It's 1 to 55. At 55, the 12 times stops. So I was like, oh. So I was like, I'm still have to finish up my Keb, and like my other character, I'm well over the 55 now, but I'm not 60. So I was like, oh well. Like I said, started out a new counselor and doing that. I enjoy the fact that they included the thing that can turn off the XP. If people want to do.
That's kind of nice, especially since we kind of don't know when it's going to end. I mean, we do kind of know when 12 times XP is going to end, but what if you just want to level like normal right now?
Well, and especially if you're like running with somebody that, because it's only is it just for subscribers? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if it's just for subscribers, maybe you have a free-to-play person you're trying to introduce to the game, you're going to way outpace them, so.
Yes. I'm hearing that actually with 3.2.1, they will be putting the vendors for the white, I believe it's the white acute item, right? Whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Those will be on starter planets
actually,
with 3.2.1. Was that not true?
Well, they put a post and said that the degree officials have reconvened on this, and they're not going to be able to they don't have the resources to put a representative on every home planet.
Okay, so that fell through then.
Well, what they're doing is they're going to make the white acute thing, it's going to be legacy bound, so you can buy it with another character. But if you don't have a character high enough to be on fleet, you're going to run through the whole starting planet with 12 times.
Which I think you should be doing anyway as a brand new player to SWTOR. So do all the missions.
Yeah.
Enjoy the story.
Yeah. Well, but the starting planet, you're still going to be on 12 times. You won't be able to, unless you can get a character high enough legacy-wise, they can buy it off a fleet. So I kind of think there should be a vendor on the starting planets, but it looks like they're not going to have that.
I guess you could just not sub until you're done with the
well,
there you go.
Starter planet or something.
Of course, on the starting planet, you pretty much do, because it's only for the story missions that you're getting 12 times anyway, so most of the quests around there are not too bad. So anyway, I do like that they put that into the game, actually, to think about other people that may not want the 12 times. And let's see, moving on now. Let's see. So, you guys all went through Zyos yet?
Oh yeah. I finally finished it last night. It took me a while, since I was saying earlier I hadn't done it in the PTS. The first round, I was like, what? That was so easy at the end. That last boss, quote quote, that you beat at the first time, and then the second part of the story, I was like, oh my god. I'm trying not to give spoilers here, so I sound really crazy. So the second part of the story, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
And but I went through all the extra missions that were there, and then it just kind of stopped. And I was like, well, is that it? I hadn't done the operation bosses yet, or it's like a world boss and an operation boss, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a world boss running around, and then there's a instance operation boss.
Yeah, so I hadn't done either of those, so I'm sure the story finishes up there, but just for like a player that doesn't do those, it's just like, it just stops. But I did think that the missions were really cool, especially with the one with the speeder. That was really cool, and I like I don't know. I know you have to find stuff all the time in the game, but I kind of like the missions on Zyos. They were like very puzzly. I like that.
Okay, I got a question for you. Are we going to actually discuss the second part of Zyos?
After the terminal?
Yeah. After the cutoff, where everybody got cut off before the 4th, are we going to talk about any of that afterwards? Spoilers, anyway.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. If you don't want to listen anymore, obviously,
There might be people listening live that haven't done
yeah,
it
that's
yet.
true. So
You
I
know,
won't
you know
say
what
too
I would
much.
say? I would say go and read if you haven't yet. Read the Revan book by Drew Karpatian. Read that
just
whole
read my
thing
mind.
if you want the full story, because you get. I'm not gonna do any spoilers here, but I will say that you get to that the ending, and having read that book, it puts all of that in context, and it's just mind blowing. I was streaming that at the time when I saw that, and it just blew my mind. It was the most awesome thing ever.
Yes, I have to agree. That was like I read it when I read that book. It was really great, and you could tell this is something completely different happening. But then to actually get to be there in a way live, it was very cool. And you hit the nail on the head. I believe that was you when you were streaming, Zakari, and was talking about the music or lack thereof in the first part of Ziost.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things. So one of the things I do on my stream, and I guess we could talk about this a little later too, but just real quick, I love to stop and smell the roses, to actually like look around, to actually look at the art, to look at the environments that they design, to hear the score, and I really enjoy when they very strategically use score to influence the mood, and yeah, I was very taken with that when I went through there.
Well, it was interesting because it was one of the few places where it wasn't prevalent, and it was like, wait, what's going on? And it gave you almost that kind of eerie feeling. So I picked up on it too. I thought that was really cool. But Heather, back to you. We're talking about one of the things you liked is the extra mission. I'm going to call it the Sonic the Hedgehog speeder. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was a fun little bit that they had in there. It was
Now, did
different.
you find the second speeder mission?
Which second speeder mission? The one on the second part of Zios?
Yes. Did you find that one?
Yeah, I did both of them.
I thought that one was even better than the first one because I just had to click on the speeder and I'm off and going through the little things. I just thought it was pretty cool. Other than the fact it's like, oh, it took me on the other side of the planet. Now I have to go back and get my quest.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh my god, I'm driving all this way and passing all these things I need to click on.
I know.
And then and then I got off the speeder and I was like, okay, everything is still close.
And I did find a bug actually with that speeder, and I did a bug comment thing and sent it off, and I even updated it a couple times because I was like, if you're on the speeder in the first part, and I haven't tried the second part, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same mechanic. If you hit cover, which that sniper you can hit cover, it will take you off the speeder, but you're not in combat. I still had the buff for being on the speeder and was running around as a sniper with that buff, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard about that one. So,
So
that
you can still have the speeder buff without having a speeder because I was running with a sniper. Now, when you go into combat is the only thing. It will take that buff off. But I was like, ooh, this is great. I feel like a sorker now with my sniper running around and speeding around. So that was kind of cool. But I liked the mechanic. I thought it was a really neat thing they added to the game. And I'm wondering now, because there were multiple people of us, and we actually decided we were going to have a mock-like race, we got on those speeder pads and took off. Now, I'm just saying, we did it live with everybody in the game that was on Ziost and didn't bug out. We didn't lag. Just saying, pod racing anyone? I'd be up for it.
I have heard that they aren't really going to go there, at least no time soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they are definitely rolling out the, what they need, I guess, the foundation for it.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
like the stuff that they were working on, then they figured out, well, I don't think we can do it, but here's the tech.
Well, it might be like, maybe this is a test. If it's going to work on a planet where other people are questing at the same time, I don't know. Interesting. It'd be neat to see what they get back as far as, results from that.
I mean, but just like other parts of the games, there's definitely things that you can do in game that you don't need BioWare to do. Like you can have your own PvP competitions in wherever you want to. You can have, well, I mean, I guess you'd have to be flagged or be on a PvP server. But there's places where you can just have PvP competitions. You could probably make up just like you did and have a little race.
Yeah.
There's lots of things. I mean,
Of course, I'm going to have to bring up something, though. You can't PvP on Ziost.
Yeah, you cannot PvP on Ziost. Why?
I
Why
know.
not?
There were some streamers that were kind of upset about that, and I guess I can kind of understand the first part, but the second part of Ziost, everybody was talking is like, this planet would be awesome. There's like nothing around, and just be able to do that. But on a PvP server, I don't know why they haven't got that back. But
I feel like it was lazy of them to not do PvP. I mean, this is just totally making a PvP server irrelevant by not having a planet with that functionality.
now you're on a PvP server, right, Sakari?
Yes, I'm on the Bastion, and I see. The thing is, I remember when we got started with Yavin 4, people were pretty much just wanting to get through the content, and so there was kind of like people were respecting the truce. You know, people would be I'd see people red flagged all over the place, but you would just. It was understood that you don't attack them and they don't attack you. Everyone's doing the story, but that sort of started to wear off. I don't know, like the fact that they haven't done it here, I don't know if that was intentional or not. But I do remember, like Oricon, for instance, is real hard to get through that content if you are kind of a little bit underleveled, and people are there to enjoy the PvP. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that about with at least with the new content. If they introduce it later on after it's kind of older, then sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think if it was a conscious choice, I don't think it should have been a choice that they make for the players. I don't think they should choose, okay, well, you guys just can't PvP on this planet. I think that's something that they should let us work out for ourselves.
Or at the very least, like say, Zios is going to be a neutral planet. Tell everybody at the very beginning. But anyway, so well, who knows? Like, possibly they may switch that in the later date. Who knows? Let's see what other thing we hit. Of course, the costume designer, and I'm gonna pop up the thing here.
You know what I think about the outfit designer? This is gonna go like the way of the strongholds for me. It seems something cool. Like I'd be totally all over this. I haven't done it yet.
What? You still haven't got your stronghold though done yet?
I haven't even decorated a stronghold yet. So like I don't know. I don't care about. I mean, I guess I do care, but I mean, it's not something important to me in game just because there's not a functionality for it. It doesn't change my stats. It just changes how I look like, and I know I'm.
Yeah. Well, now I'll give you a for instance. I mean, I like it. Of course, right now we got Sakari's character up there. He was gracious enough to get me some screenshots. I didn't have any on costume designer, which is crazy. And I know from watching his stream, that was his character, main character, and trying to get that augmented on the end and change your look. For me, that's the one thing I love about it. I don't have to pull mods ever again.
Yeah, I guess next time I would want to change an outfit. It would be really cool. But for me to fill up like all those slots, I wouldn't really do that.
You know what really helped out for me is that I have been wanting to wear the Hallowed Gothic set from Oricon forever on this character, just forever. But the cost involved with moving augments around, reapplying augment kits to that set, and then pulling them from the old and putting in the new, and then plus all of the other mods and armorings and all that stuff was just deterrent. I just didn't want to do it because it's just the cost involved. And so I appreciate, at least right now, that I have the chance to superimpose that set and actually sport the look. In that sense, so it's been fun to do that. I haven't really done it on many other characters, but I have played with it a little bit on Sakari.
Yeah. For me, I like it for the simple fact, like I said, I'm not having to pull augments or re-augment another thing. In fact, I'm working on right now, since I'll have 2 snipers at level 60, I'm going to get some legacy gear, augment that all out, pull the mods, and so then I can just transfer back and forth and work it that way. And then I still have different looks for those guys and whatever look that I want to have with them. And so whatever set I like the best, I can put that over the top of some legacy gear. So
yeah, I will say I really wish that maybe here's hoping for the future, but it would be so nice if they would allow us to actually put actual sets in there, so that I could have my DPS set, PvP set in there, and my tank set, because I tend to switch around a lot between roles, and so to actually have that not occupying spots in my inventory would be just great.
I would like that. Well, some people even mentioned if it didn't take all of it, it would combine it into a box. Kind of like the boxes that come in like some of the cartel packs or where you get the armoring. If they would put it all in a box and you just have to keep that box, say, in your inventory. But I know what you're saying.
Inventory?
What's that?
Like a sub inventory?
Well, it would like, okay, this is my set. And like when I hit like, okay, do you want, like when you hit the thing to commit to these changes or whatever on the, on the costume designer, it would like, okay, we're now putting that all into a box. And you, instead of having each piece or whatever, so it would condense it down. And then like you were saying, if it then could switch in between two different actually gear sets, I think that would be something really cool, especially for those of everyone that's PvPing, whether it's switching war zones, because then they could allow you actually to switch, because you can't put any gear on once you get into Warzone, right?
No.
So this might be something where they could allow you not really putting on a gear. I'm just flicking a button that's already there. So I don't know.
Another thing.
What? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Another thing that I think they're missing from the outfit designer too is the weapon. Because, I change my color crystal every time I change an outfit. And I know some people, they have different weapons per outfit. That's kind of important.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. If changing the look of a player, I'm going to change probably that color crystal, especially if it's somebody that has a lightsaber. I do agree with that. I think if they'd had a slot, at least for the color crystal, I know personally I would like them to be able to change. Like if I have, whether it's a legacy weapon or something like that, if I see a new weapon that I want that look for, but I don't want to have to re-mod a whole new weapon, I would like that too. But, who said, like Sakari said, possibly in the future we have some other things that will come down the road, maybe to improve it even more. Let's see.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is they make this new change and then they never go back to it.
See, that's what I talked a little bit about on my hole in the links. It's like, I hope it's not something that it's going to be like, well, now we have this and we can check that off the list, wipe our hands, we're done with now costume designer. So it's kind of similar to what I think on some of the guild ships and stuff, that it's kind of like, okay, we got that check, we give them guild ships, moving on. Next thing on the to-do list.
Yeah, it boggles my mind that Star Wars is coming up. I'm really surprised that they're not just putting 150% into the game, like hiring a bunch of people, doing all kinds of projects, making the game seem really cool to people that don't already play the game, and even to the existing players. I wish there was more resources going towards the game, because I think it has a lot of potential that's not being achieved.
Yeah. And I do like some of the other quality of life things they brought in with 3.2 that I think have improved a little bit of the game, and that's some of the quality of life, like the changes to comms, where now where your comms only cost, 2 for the armors and mods when you're leveling up, which is nice. Quick travel, oh my gosh, that's amazing now. No cooldowns, and then it's already there. I don't have to find those points. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely nice for 12 times XP. It's like, well, I didn't walk past that area because I never had any missions in that area, so you never pick up the quick travel point. So well, that's pretty nice.
Even for like for me, Hoth is always a terrible one, because it's like you go forward and then you got to go backwards. So it's like now I can just automatically warp to that spare area, and then like you said, even if you don't have that point, you can already go to that because it's already there. I like that a lot. So those are definitely quality of life things that they have improved on, and they still can improve more on, like you said. So anything else, guys, that you saw in 3.2 so far on Zyos, the costume designer, quality of life, or the epic XP?
No, there was just a kind of a funny part in the first part of Ziost where there's a dark side and light side choice, and you're asked to either side with I'm on the imp side, so I was asked to side with either what Lana wanted to do or what Theron wanted to do. And I just kind of thought it was funny because my character is currently flirting with Theron, and I was like, oh no, I picked the dark side choice, which was Lana, of course. And he was just like, acting like a pissed off boyfriend, like like I can't believe you did that, blah blah blah. I thought that was kind of funny and entertaining.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, never mind. Are you talking
spoiler.
about the end? The end of Ziost part 1?
Yeah, the first part. Yeah.
I know exactly what you did. You evil Sith, you.
Yeah.
Heather's like, yes, of course I am. So, unfortunately, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I really like the story. One more thing I wanted to ask you guys. The cutoff date, waiting for the 4th, which it was a Tuesday. The 4th was it? Yeah. Do you agree with them making the last part of Ziost unlocked? The cutscene.
Yeah, I totally agree because you needed kind of a break or a pause between what happens in the first part and what happens in the second part, and it makes the second part of Ziost, what happens there, a lot more exciting or impactful.
Wow, I would have totally guessed wrong on you saying that, Heather. How about you, Sakari? What do you think?
You know what? I think I would have preferred for them just to go ahead and release all of it on May the 4th. That way it goes live and you get that end. Because I remember getting to that terminal, I'm like, because I played a little bit on the PTS, but didn't get all the way through it. And then I got all the way through it, and I clicked that terminal, and it was like, okay, you're on pause for a week. Just wait around.
Yeah.
And come back and check this when you're done. And I was like, okay, I can handle that. And then came back a week later, and there was pretty much an ending cinematic and the dailies that unlocked. And that was weird for me. I mean, I understand that they wanted to have all of that go live on the 4th, or like here's the ending, here's some Star Wars content of some kind on the 4th. But I would have just preferred a straight full release so we can play through it and get those dailies started.
Yeah, it kind of felt abrupt, and then when I went back to the terminal, it's like the terminal really didn't have anything to do with it. Because you clicked on the terminal, and it said, okay, now click on the other terminal. I was like, what? And then, of course, I'm of the mindset of, I don't like exploits at all. I don't agree with them. Did you guys ever try to go to the terminal where you could transport anywhere before May the 4th?
No, I didn't even... I don't have time for that.
Well, you click on it and go to the landing zone, you can go there. I was going around the new part of Ziost. I could go there. I didn't attack anything or did anything like that, but it's like, if you didn't want anybody going down there and potentially doing anything wrong, turn that terminal off as well. I don't know. I liked it. I liked the fact that they wanted to kind of wait and have something for the 4th. I kind of think maybe there was probably another way of going about it, whether it's like Sakari maybe waiting for the whole thing and just put it all on the 4th. Maybe go ahead and let the costume designer out earlier. Go ahead and let some of the other changes, but let the Ziost storyline wait for the 4th. I know we never like to wait on content. I mean, we're gamers. We want it now. We want it all now. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on feelings on that. I just kind of thought it was pretty abrupt how they ended it. That's, I think, unless you guys have anything else on that, I think we'll maybe leave the Ziost for now, since we don't want to give away too many spoilers. So I think we'll go ahead and get into our community buzz. We have somebody we need to interview a little bit.
Yeah, so we have Sakari with us. Was there a bumper there?
What were you saying, Heather? Go ahead.
Was I interrupting a bumper, Jason?
That's all right. Go right ahead. It's
Okay,
we're just live.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So, Sakari, tell us a little bit about yourself, as much as you're comfortable with. Otherwise, the rest we'll just make up and spread rumors.
Well, Gallus, my bank account number and my social security number are...
Wait, I need to write this down.
No, I'm originally from South Africa, so if you notice a little bit of an accent, that is where I'm from. I'm now living in Texas, so it's been an interesting ride. But moved over here kind of at the end of high school, and have been a gamer pretty much since college. So, and it's good. I've playing MMOs. Obviously we spoke earlier about Star Wars Galaxies. I got started doing that, and been playing SWTOR since launch.
So how was the adjustment on that from coming from South Africa to Texas?
It's a change in a lot of ways. It's nice. This country is very tech savvy, and there's a lot of good tech, and tech is cheap here. It's very expensive over there. So it's nice to be able to come here, and I'm a tech geek. It's nice to have computers and cell phones, all that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty good. South Africa is definitely a little different. It's a lot more British in its style. So yeah, there's absolutely it's really the little things that get you when you move countries.
When did you start playing SWTOR in your gaming life?
So I was hanging out on the forums back even pre-launch when they were still doing the guild formation phase. I was hanging out and waiting with bated breath. And got into a guild. How they were just forming those guilds. I found one that was kind of fitted what I was looking for, and jumped in there. And so when the game launched, they put everybody on the server that they thought was going to fit what you were looking for. And so I actually got assigned to Warriors of the Shadow, was my origin server. And that ultimately got rolled into the Bastion when they did the merges. So I didn't really get to pick my server, but I have been there ever since.
Nice. And you did say it is on the Bastion?
Yes, the Bastion.
Bastion. That was our next question. We're going to ask you what server you're on in that EDP server. So you like that server? And also, what is the name of the guild that you're part of on that one? I know you talked about that on your stream.
Yes, so we started Vindictive, which is, we were originally, and this is kind of way back, Freedom Rising on the Republic side. And then jumped over to the Empire side and got Vindictive started. I did take a break from the game, and so that kind of things fizzled when I did that. But a few of us were friends and just kept up with each other on Facebook pretty much. And when one of us one day was like, I can't believe I'm reloading this. And that just brought all of us back. We all jumped back in. And that was shortly before 3.0. I went live, so there was enough time for us to get prepared. And when you do that, everyone starts to give you pressure to start the old guild back up. And so we got it started, and now I think we're doing pretty good. Since I'm spending so much time streaming, it's really my officers that are running it, and they're doing a fantastic job.
So how did you start streaming then? Is this why your officers kind of handle the guild and?
yeah, for the most part. Oh, geez, streaming. Okay, so probably February or March last year, I decided I was getting to the stage where I played the Republic content till I was pretty much tired of it. I had done everything, And there's only so much you can do before you're like, okay, it's time to experience a little more here. There's all these stories that I haven't, been able to jump into. And so I've started to feel cold over to the other side. So I did that, but, it's hard on a guild when, they sort of pulled in two different factions sometimes. So I jumped over there, but the guild, that's what sort of caused it to fizzle. And so it came to a point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a break for a while. Whenever I feel the urge to come back, I will. And so it was February or March that I took off, and then came back in October. So it was actually a really long break, longer than I thought it would be. But when I came back, I really wanted to get into it. And one of the commitments I made to myself was that I was going to really invest on the out-of-game player community, the people that are in conversation on Twitter, and the podcast. That's why I started listening to you guys and to some of the other ones that are out there. And so, reading the blogs, absolutely. I appreciate your blog, by the way, Heather. Thanks. And I'm a good reader. I'm a lurker. I don't say much, but. And then streaming was another thing, and I wanted to, see and actually get into the streaming community and see what people were doing and what they were doing out there. And that's kind of how I got sucked into streaming. I decided to try it one time, and was very nervous about it to begin with. And but it grew. It one thing leads to another, and before you know it, that's sort of what you do with your time.
So now I know we kind of talked a little bit about this As far as things you picked up from other streams that you liked, what do you feel is the greatest reward for you personally when you stream?
The greatest reward, I suppose, is being able to. It's really the small little mini community you put together of regulars. It blows my mind that there are people that will log. They will be waiting for the stream to get started, and if they know that it's going to be at the same time pretty much every night, they will wait for you. And I have some great people that I'm as much fans of them as they are fans of the show that I'm doing. And so they're there. I show up, and then we get started. We have a great night, and we hang out together. It's really the little group that I hang out with that I think is the most rewarding part of it.
Awesome.
So, what's your favorite soldier class to play, or what's your favorite classes as far as the story goes?
I think I definitely tend toward the Inquisitor story. The storyline is great. I would say that my favorite part of story anywhere in this is definitely the Imperial Agent. Agent is by far the best. So I know some people may be mad at me for saying that, but as far as style of play, I really enjoy the Assassin, and
Woo!
the Assassin is really good. And my main is an Assassin, so I'm right there with you. And Sork sort of as a secondary is probably, I enjoy that too. So, but I am on Sakari's a Darkness. I tank with her a lot. I tank for our raid team, and then it fell to me to be the flex character for the Underlurker fight and just switch to DPS. So I play Hatred DPS with her a lot as well. So
there we get Sakari up there on the stream. Should be popping up. So now, when you talk about that, do you like how it is able to, between a few classes out there where they can make them to where they're DPS and tanks? You like that, being able to kind of that utilitarian?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big fan of being able to switch. I do that with every one of my characters. Once I get them to end game, I build a set for every function that they're going to be playing. If they're going to be healing, I'll build a healing set. If they are going to DPS, I'll build a DPS set, and then double of those when if I'm going to be doing any kind of PvP. So I have I'll have 4 sets for any given character because I want that flexibility and the ability to, if somebody needs a healer, if they need a DPS, then I have a character for that, and they can do either one of those and do it well.
Now, as far as your stream, let's go back, kind of get in a little bit more on your stream. When you talk about the different styles, I noticed when I'm a lurker, and so I quit there and watch it, and you have different styles. Like you have the raid nights, the Friday feature, and then some of your more relaxed, like leveling on the weekends. Do you have a favorite of those, and are there plans to expand upon that in the future?
Oh, what I have found is, for me, probably just the leveling is by far the most fun because you don't have any constraints on you as far as, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this activity. The one that is the most restrictive as a streamer I've found is actually raiding, because I have to pay attention to what's going on in my raid chat a lot, and that limits me being able to pay that much attention to my stream chat. And so the beautiful thing about being able to just be out there leveling is that I've got as much attention as I can, give to the stream chat is fun. And they appreciate it and I appreciate it, So I think that's by far my favorite. I'm amazed, actually, that so many people would tune in to watch a guy level. But one of the things, I'll just throw this out there, that I try to do when I got this whole thing started was I started to look at what different streams were out there. I would just visit a stream, hang out for a minute or two, and then if I didn't find it appealing, I'd move on. But if I found myself wanting to watch for a while, I asked myself why. And actually started populating a list. Here's what I like, here's what I like, here's what I like. And I with all of that set of things that would draw me to a stream, that is what I wanted to do with my stream. And so I started to implement some of those. And I am very hopeful that that is part of the strategy that's making things work for me. I will let my people confirm that or deny that, as they wish. But that's about it for that.
Nice. Now I understand. Speaking of your people there, what exactly your fans over there? And I hear you have your aspects or inspiration to try to take on a much larger role in the Imperial faction.
Oh, yes, yes. I am. Okay, so since the Emperor has vacated his spot, I would like for everybody to vote for me in my campaign to be the new Emperor. I am trying to see if I can campaign on my stream, and I'm worried a little bit because I have the odd person that jumps in there and like Sakari for Emperor, and you know how the Emperor possesses people. I'm worried that they're kind of turning into sycophants, so I may need to.
Part of the inner sanctum, I believe, is that your.
Yes, I'm very proudly imperial, and that's the the one poor like the poor pubs that visit my stream, they get a lot of heat from the imps. And I permit that. That's fine. I'm happy to give some pressure to the pubs.
Yeah, I've been to your stream a few times, and I definitely you have a great group of people, especially some of your mods and stuff that help you out on that stream. You guys got a great group, and it's a good time. A lot of fun there.
Yes, and I appreciate you dropping by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to do that. It's been a lot more rewarding than I actually originally thought it was. I mean, when I got started, I expected that. I'll be honest, like I would feel that nervousness when you are about to go live, and I push that button, and then next thing I know, like I'm naked in front of the world. I mean, anybody can watch what I'm doing, how I'm modded, what rotation I'm using, and I just had to. Deal with the fact that there was going to be some trolls that would drop by that would hate on me. There would be some people that would stick by and actually become friends, and this has actually been one of the most rewarding aspects of it. Actually, I need to throw this out there as well, that there are people that are far better players than I am, and I don't know why they would want to watch me do such simple, like level a character or whatever. But they drop by and they'll watch what I'm doing and see my rotation or see habits that I have, and will say in chat, "Hey, you need to get out of this habit, or you need to hotkey that, or you need to really good helpful information." That I'm very happy to have that out there for other people who are watching, because I mean, as I'm improving as a character, that gives them something to think about, in improving as a character. So it's been very good to be able to learn from players that are way better at the game than I am. So
Awesome. So now, Heather, are you going to ask him?
I don't know. Should we go to the rapid shot round? I don't know if I have any more streamer questions for Sakari.
You don't have that one question
What one question?
about a potential boss fight?
Oh, you're making me nervous here.
No, I totally forgot.
No, it was, well, I had mentioned to, I was on the stream, like Sakari says, I ventured on there, and it happened to be, was the 5th, wasn't it? Of course, I know it was the 5th. I just watched the recording again last night.
Yeah.
And they were going through helping get some DPS, some extra gear through, what was that, Temple of Sacrifice, right? They were running both, Ravengers and Temple of Sacrifice.
Yeah, we have some DPS that we're trying to gear up right now because we've had some issues getting our DPS, secure on the raid team so that we can progress into the hard modes. But yes, we were gearing up some people, and we were running Temple of Sacrifice.
And the lead in to the whole stream was, we're going to blast through Ravengers and Temple of Sacrifice. And because of the story mode to help get some people gear. And they got to the Revenite Commanders, and, well, it didn't go so well.
No, it didn't go so well. So, yes, the Revenite Commanders. Yeah, I mean, like, you get into us, hey, everything's great. We're, everyone's joshing and having fun, and, you're just cutting it up, and it's great. It's awesome. And then suddenly I noticed my health wasn't doing so well. And I was like, let me pop a cooldown. All right, we're good. And then I noticed that I think somebody else went down, and then the healer went down, and then I went down. And before you know it, we wiped on the Commanders. I've never seen or heard of anybody wiping on the Commanders story mode. So it was a little bit humiliating. We had to do the walk of shame, when you have to run back to the Commanders of all bosses. That's just like an extended trash pull, pretty much. So, and then we had to go, it's a really long fight, so we had to do it all again, and I had to find somebody to blame. Yes, it was very humiliating to stream something like that. But that's, again, what I was saying about, you're naked for the world. All of your mistakes, all the stupid things you do, people can see. So you have to just kind of have a thick skin to some of that.
He was worried too after I was there. He saw it. He's like, oh no, Heather's going to grill me on that.
Yes. Well, Jason, you said that Heather's like quite a big into the ops or raids, and I'm like, oh no, if she sees some of the stuff, I'm gonna be in. But I'm glad she didn't. That's awesome.
Just wait.
Yeah, no, I didn't see. So
She'll be trolling you now.
Well, now I've sold myself out, so everyone's gonna be like, making YouTube videos of it, and I'm gonna be famous for it, wiping on the commanders. Thanks, Jason.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime. And on that note, let's head on into the rapid shots.
yeah, and FYI, Jason, I did see that question after I scrolled down a bit. I was like, oh, that was the question.
That one.
So let's get started with our rapid shot round. The key here, Sakari, is to answer these questions as fast as possible. So
Okay.
not too much thinking about it.
All right, let's do it.
Who is your favorite Star Wars Fett, Jango or Boba?
Boba.
What is your favorite Star Wars film?
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Ah.
Oh, interesting. That's a new one for the show.
Yes, I think it is.
Which faction, Empire or Republic?
Oh, absolutely, Empire.
Yay.
Hands down.
What is your favorite event in SWTOR?
Oh boy, Rakul.
Wait, the first Rakghoul event or the present day event?
I think the first one was really cool. And it's been a long, long time. Sorry,
Yeah.
rapid shots. Here we go. Keep my head in the game.
Who's your favorite Force user, Darth Sidious, Darth Bane, or Darth Vader?
Oh, Sidious. I know there's not going to be a lot of people that'll have issues with me for saying that, but I absolutely love Sidious. It's the most well-written Star Wars character ever.
I have to agree. I like Sidious. Holding back all that power. Which weapon? Lightsaber or blaster?
I think lightsaber.
Nice. Well done. And that is the rapid shot round. Let's see. I have been showing this off and on, but I will let you go and go through this. I've got a few of your links and stuff on one of your banners. Where can people find you? Where can they reach you? Etc. Sakari.
Oh, sure. I appreciate it, by the way. I am at, if you go to www.iamsakari, that's my website. And obviously on Twitch, I'm at twitch.tv/Sakari. So that is where I hang out and where I stream. And my guild page is vindictiveswotor.com, all one word.
Nice. Any more shout-outs you want to give out to anybody, say, in the Inner Sanctum or anything about your stream that we should be looking for?
Oh no, I'm all good. I just appreciate my people, is what I'm going to say. If I started naming them, we would be here for the rest of ever. So
It's a lose-lose situation. Now they're going to
Yes,
say,
no,
well, you
you
didn't
didn't-
shout me out on Corellian Radio.
Thanks, Sakari. So, yeah, we want to definitely thank you for coming by with the interview, especially being a Mother's Day. We want to thank you for coming by. So, we will-
yes, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
I think we got one more little area we wanted to talk about. Heather brought this up, and probably a few quick mentions we want to talk about.
Yeah. I was someone on Facebook, they actually asked me a question. They're like, oh, I'm on Jedi Covenant, but I'm having a really hard time finding an active guild that does operations and all these things. And so I was kind of brainstorming only just for a second, and I thought, well, what about SWTORconquest.com? Because they list all the top 10 guilds on each of the planets per week, and that's a lot of guilds to look
That is a
at.
lot of
Depending,
guilds.
yeah, depending on how many guilds are doing conquest for that week, how many planets there are. That could be, like 40 guilds a week that you can look at, and you know that they're active because they're getting all these points in conquest. So I thought that was a really good resource that she hadn't known about before. So I'm really
That is
excited.
pretty cool. I briefly only gazed at it. I didn't really get to check it out very much. I've seen it before, but that's pretty cool. It's like they got a list of like almost everything that's going on within a server, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. If you think about it in a way that, okay, well, these are the active guilds instead of, who's beating who in conquest. It's a really good way to see who's playing.
This is a really good resource. And Heather brought this up about potential websites and different things that we could offer up as suggestions. So I think we're going to start a SWTOR Community Extras. So definitely, if you find any website out there, whether it's or maybe a podcast, maybe a stream that's been really helpful to you, give us a suggestion. You can email us at corellianrun@gmail.com and let us know. Or Heather, you can email her at heather@prettylittlesith.com and maybe give your suggestions and enter for our SWTOR Community Extras, and we'll definitely give a shout out to those.
Yeah, but otherwise, if you're a guild looking to get your guild notice, you can contact us about being on a guild ready check. You can also send an email to corellianrun@gmail.com or to me, heather@prettylittlesith.com.
I want to definitely give another thank you out to all those guilds who've contacted us, and we're going to make sure and stay tuned for new guild ready checks and community checkpoint articles. Also, don't forget to check out the various articles we have on CRR during the week. Take a moment, please, and leave us a positive feedback on iTunes. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast app.
If you'd like to contact us or have any questions or ideas for discussion topics, email us at corellianrun@gmail.com. You can also follow and tweet us on Twitter @corellianrun. My personal Twitter handle is @Heather_PLS, and Jason is @JT_HollowNet. If you're on Facebook, you can like our Facebook group. Oh gosh, what did I say? You can like our Facebook page, reading ahead here, and or join our Facebook group. You can also leave a voicemail for us on our website, www.corellianrun.com, or on our Facebook page, and this could possibly be featured on the show. Finally, if you'd like to be a writer or submit content for our website, send an email to Jason at jason@corellianrun.com.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us at Corellian Run Radio on this special Mother's Day. We want to thank all our fans, followers, loyal listeners, and we also want to, again, thank Sakari for joining us today. And until next time, I'm Jason.
I'm Heather. May the force be with you, or keep those blasters by your side, kid.
You've been listening to Corellian Run Radio, a Star Wars The Old Republic podcast. Tune in next time to hear Heather say,
Happy Mother's Day and happy belated Star Wars Day.
End transmission.